Hello everyone, and welcome back to another stream. Today we're showing off something quite special. It's a brand new app from our good friends SimBitWorld, the creators of A Pilot's Life. So this is their brand new application here called A Grand Tour, and we're going to take a look at this throughout the stream, do a flight with it as well. Alex, welcome. How you doing, my friend? Glad to see you here. It's been a while. SimCrushFly, welcome. All right, so I do want to say this was very kindly provided to the channel by Ovidiu, the CEO and lead developer at SimBitWorld. So big thank you to them for this. And yeah, so this released this morning. You can pick it up on Sim Market or Contrail, and let's take a look at what this does. So it's not linked to a pilot's world, a pilot's life in any way, and there's no sort of cross progression or anything like that. There's no link other than it's developed by the same company. So essentially with a Grand Tour, you can create tours or fly other people's tours with all the legs, and there's a little bit of progression in there. So if we go to browse tours here, this will make it a little bit easier to understand. There's all of these tours, and this just released this morning, and look how many tours there already is. So what is a tour? Essentially, if we go ahead and so I've created one here called the 2024 season Formula 1 World Tour. Okay, so this is one I created yesterday, and if we go to tour details, you can see the tour here. So the first flight, which we're actually going to be doing in today's stream, is Bahrain to Jeddah. And what this is, you can see all the different legs here, and this is going from one race to another, which I've sort of simulated here. So, you know, we go from Bahrain to Jeddah to Melbourne, then to Suzuka to Shanghai, just like the real F1 calendar, for example. So anyone, it is public. Anyone can go ahead and click on it, click Start Tour. I've already started it, of course. And then when you go to your tours, you can see your tour in here. And you can see all the legs that you need to fly. And so you can see the next leg. For us, obviously, this is the first one. So ours is Bahrain to Jeddah, which we're doing today. what you can do is go to your current leg, and this is the sort of main page when you're flying. And as you can see, it's picked it up. We're in the simulator, it's connected. This will work with Microsoft Flight Sim, P3D, X-Plane, and FSX, as it says down here, same as A Pilot's Life Chapter 2. And now, it's very similar interface. We can essentially go ahead and fly this route then, and it'll autocomplete and all that good stuff. You can put your call sign, your aircraft in here. If there's a flight plan attached to the route, so for example, in mine, I've not attached a flight plan, so you can just generate one with SimBrief, and it'll give you, the most up-to-date flight plan. But if there is a flight plan, it will tell you. Obviously, for this leg, there isn't one. You can go straight to SimBrief Dispatch as well. So if I click that, it's probably going to open. There it is. And as you can see, it opens SimBrief Dispatch. It auto fills your departure, arrival, your aircraft type if you have a valid ICO code that you put in that aircraft, and it generates all that for you, which is really, really cool. And then you have the safe flight, which we'll do at the end, but it is also automatic. So if we look at some tours, so yeah, that's that's basically it. You can look at all these tours. There's so many. I mean, there's one which is included here. It's not crashed at all for me, but it seems to be doing right now. Interesting. It has just been released today, so there may be some teething issues, but I've not had any issues. Oh, there it is. We're back. Okay. I think that was just my PC. Rather than the app. But as you can see here, we have the world tour. This is included. And you can look here. So we've got, Frankfurt to Heathrow, Heathrow to JFK, JFK to Miami, and it takes you all the way across the world. Really, really cool if you want to find routes and, a bit of a purpose to fly. Again, A Pilot's Life does this as well. It gives you a purpose to fly specific routes. But you are also locked to, your company. For example, I am flying for DHL right now. And a lot of the flights are just in and around Europe and one or two long hauls. And I'm locked to flying the 757 or the 777 unless I move company. But, if I want to fly other aircraft, then I can do using this. On this, you can fly, whatever you want. You don't need to buy type ratings. It's just you pick the route, you fly whatever you want. You just fly that route, essentially. It's very much more themed towards potentially GA users as well. So I'm showing airliner ones, but if we go to a GA one, here by Kiwi Mace, Scenic Tour of New Zealand. You can see all this, these tours, and these are airports, many of us won't have ever heard of, but, this is really cool. So if you want to do some GA flying, you can do that. It's very, very cool software, very open. This will get better and better as more and more people create tours. This is, open to the public, as long as you purchase the software, of course. I think it's €15 on Sim Market or Contrail. But yeah, really, really nice. Of course, I have mine here, which I showed, mainly for airliners. But of course, there are many GA ones as well. We got a Greece tour here. This is really cool. Look at this. Very, very cool. And you can have multiple tours selected at the same time, which I really like. So I've got a Europe tour selected. As you can see, I've done one leg already. That was my test sector earlier, but you can have, currently my active tour is my own season, my Formula One World Tour that I created myself. But you can, of course, click resume on the Europe tour and just do that. So you can have as many of these as you want, as far as I know. I'm here more often, lurking in the background, can't say the whole stream. No worries, Alex, that's fine. It is a cool app, it really is. Yeah, it's, a bit more basic than A Pilot's Life. Hence, it is also much, much cheaper, but it's really good for those general aviation flyers out there as well. Gives you a bit of a purpose, and, doing world tours and tours of various countries is really very cool. Hey, Stan, welcome. How's it going? Steve, welcome. Good evening. Yeah, so if I quickly go to browse tours here, you can filter. There's all of these filters that you can add. That's all pretty self-explanatory. But what you can do is you go to create a tour here. You can change the tour types. You can have GA, airliner, private jet, helicopter. This just affects the filters, essentially. You have a name, the description. You can set it to private or not private. And then you add your departure, arrival, aircraft if you want. You don't have to. It is optional, and a flight plan if you want it as well. So, you know, as an example, if we do EGNX, say, as our first leg, and say we're doing, I don't know, DHL ops, so we can do EDDP, which is Leipzig. When we click add leg, it adds that leg here. You can see the distance. It automatically moves EDDP up to the departure. So now I just type in, you know, I don't know, let's do Dublin, EIDW, click add. And now we're going back from Leipzig to Dublin, and you can add as many of these. I think the current limit is 100 legs, but Ovidiu is going to be adding more, and that's going to be increased to 200, which is really nice. And if you have any feature suggestions, etc., then of course Discord is the perfect place to put all that. Yeah, and then you can click save and, you know, fly the tour, which I'm not going to do. You can also bookmark your tour as well. Very cool software, particularly nice for general aviation flyers. You know, this one's called Silver Spitfire. Around the world, there's 74 legs to fly in a Spitfire. This is, yeah, that's very, very cool. There is a bit of a point system as well. So as you can see here, I have a grand total of 153 points, still on the first level here. But you can see I got points for creating the world tour. I got points for finishing a leg as well. And you can see some other stuff here, like the most popular tours in the last 90 days and the most popular tours all time, which is nice. I believe a user sort of leaderboard will be added in due course, but not at the moment, just because you know, they want to avoid competition and things like that at the moment, just while it's it gets released essentially. But very nice. You can add your own tours. You know, so many ideas. It's just the creativity from this is going to be crazy. And of course, as more and more users join, the better and better it will get. So anyway, I'm going to go to current leg. We are doing our first leg in my F1 World Tour, which you guys can all join as well. And we have Bahrain to Jeddah. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to move this across to here. And we are in the 777 V2, as you can see. And yeah, we'll get started here. Let me know how the sounds are. I've got battery, external power. Go for our initial setup here. And okay, let's see, where were we? Bring up my Navigraph on the second monitor. I've got my second monitor again, which is fantastic. Very, very useful. And alright, let's just go ahead and do this pre-flight here. But yeah, it's a really, really cool software. I'm really looking forward to doing some more flights on there. Of course, we can make our own, so we can make like a community tour potentially. So I might actually make a channel in the Discord and add suggestions, and then I will make one for, like, you know, the DrishalMAC2 community sort of thing. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, the possibilities are endless. They really, really are. Alright, so aircraft is starting up here. Let's go to external services, get data from SimBrief, and that is our latest flight plan. The flight today is going to be a little bit longer than usual. It's around 2 hours, or just under. So a little bit longer than usual. And alright, so where were we? So if we go to airplane ground services, let's get the bus.
Sir, you need to establish communication.
We need to establish.
By saying hello first.
Alright, I'm going to get the APU started and establish communication here. So the point to AGT, a Grand Tour, is to give users, you know, flight ideas essentially. You know, if you've ever been bored when you're flying, you don't know where to fly, you spend ages looking for a route, this gives a bit of a purpose without the constraints that are present with a pilot's life, as it were, almost. Both great softwares. I use both, love them. Yeah, and then you have a bit of a leaderboard. You can fly with friends, so you know, you and your friends can all do the same tour and fly together on VATSIM or something, or Microsoft Flight Sim multiplayer. Yeah, it just means you discover new areas, new routes, new airports as well. So, for example, the New Zealand World Tour, I don't know many, general aviation airports in New Zealand. I know of the major ones, Auckland and Wellington, etc., but not the smaller ones. This, if I want to do some GA flying in New Zealand, I now know all these different airports I can fly to, and I can just follow the tour. Right, so we've made contact. Hopefully it's going to let us stairs. Right. Yeah, explain aviator. My route on Volanta is showing pretty... I don't know what... Oh no, what's it doing? My my route on Volanta is showing very weird. That's not our actual route. No idea why Volanta's doing that. It's an interesting one for sure. Okay, so we need the bus, stairs,
We need some equipment
the
connected.
loaders, and
What
the
can I
fuel.
call for you?
Passenger bus.
No problem.
And then we can go to airplane, weight balance, fill from SimBrief. Loading page, I'm going to do a simultaneous full load
Sir,
just to save some time because it is a longer flight today. And we'll leave that as it is. Let's go down to the FMC then. And start getting this sorted. ADIs are on, and APU Gen can go on as well. We are at Oscar Bravo Bravo India, OBBI. Put our reference position in, and I'm gonna get my route from the flight plan which I saved earlier. 01. There it is, so we'll activate that. Don't make the stewardess angry, she's been very angry lately. Yeah, we'll be careful. We'll be careful. Alright, we are CUDA 818 as per usual. So we'll put that in departure. Let me bring my navigraph onto the screen. So let's bring up my navigraph here. And if I go to the flight plan, here's my flight. I just need to do always on top. Alright, so if we go to the departure here, we are departing on 12 left, and there's no SID, and then we're just on the ILS 34 right. So let's put that in. ILS 34 right. No transition for that, and then we're on the Remy 1 Charlie. Remy 1 Charlie star. Insert that, go to legs, make sure there's no discos here. SimBrief gave me a very weird flight plan. It's pretty much all latitude, longitude, but we're going to check all this on the ND later. And okay, so we are cruising at, I need to bring this back actually, flight level 400, cost index of 19, and let's get our weights then. So we can go to the airplane, we can go to weight balance. Yeah, it's all coordinates. No idea why SimBrief gave me that, but we'll go with it. Weight summary. So, zero fuel weight of 167. And our reserves, I'll just quickly check the OFP, was 5.5. So I'll put that on there. Fantastic. I'm going to check the route on the ND here, just to be 100% sure that it all looks correct. Okay, so I think, if I remember, yeah. So let's fix this real quick. We need to bring this all the way back to after this. So if we do that, that should be fixed, I would hope. And that's looking a lot better. Okay, right. Glad we fixed that. Yeah. For some reason, the SimBrief added all the waypoints via latitude and longitude for the actual star as well. So it doubled up on all the waypoints there. That's why there was issues. But we got that fixed. Our local QNH, let me just check this, is 1007. So let's just put that in 1007. That can go to the first officer's side as well. Hey Owen, welcome. And Skylar, welcome. How are you both doing? So thrust limitation, let's do our performance here, and I am gonna get the better pushback connected. So where were we? Performance. So we can copy FMC data. 12 left. Condition is dry. These are not correct as far as I know. Wind is 110 at 12. The temperature is 33 degrees. QNH 1007 hectopascals. I think we'll be good with a takeoff 1, flaps 5. And is that our takeoff weight? Where's our takeoff weight? 1849. Yeah, 184 is cross-checked, so actually 185, yeah, that makes sense, actually. So we'll calculate that. We got 323539, 99% takeoff 1. Okay. You know, I was going to use the Dunkin livery, but since we're doing the F1 World Tour, yeah, we'll be using GHL, but I do plan a stream using your livery. I checked it out earlier, actually. It's very nice. Right, so what was our... Some guy in VATSIM Unicom just had a huge voice crack. Oh, we've all done it. We've all done it. I'm well, thank you, Skylar. Hey, Mint Miller, welcome. So, 323539. 132. 13... I've already forgot. 135. And 139. CG was 30%. Trim of 3.75, so let's put that in. 3.75 set, perfect. Okay, just remove the load sheet from there. Beacon, fuel tanks, we have nothing in the center tanks as far as I know. Disconnect the external power. We're on APU power. And let's get everything, all the doors closed and all that good stuff. Change the cups and everything. Oh, really? I didn't even notice. I looked at the exterior. Wow, okay. Where were we? So, ground services, resets, pushback, and everything will disappear. Perfect. And then doors, we can close all.
Close all doors.
And hatches can all be closed as well.
We need that hatch closed.
Sure I can.
All right, so they're closing. Not sure where Oh, they're going into that parking spot. Apparently. Alright, so we should be good for pushback here. The HTC door is still open. Ah, yes.
Please close this hatch.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Dunkin'. We'll take a look at the livery. I'll show it on the stream when we land, actually. Alright, so we think we should be good to go here. Flight directors, auto throttle, 139 I'll set on here. Don't set on a VNAV until after takeoff. In fact, I don't think it even lets you. And our altitude was, we were cruising at, what was it, 400? I think it was. Yeah, 400. So let's set that. I'm gonna get the beacon on. Alright, all that's good. Parking brake. Disconnect the parking brake then. I need to tell them. It might help if they know where we actually want to go, so let's do that. Okay, so parking brake's released. All right, perfect. Let's get the engine. Let's get engine number 2 started first.
Thanks.
Where's my wing? Oh, there you go. Do a little cabin start sounds. Yeah, a little bit of a longer flight today, but our first leg of the F1 World Tour. It will be a new series, so we'll be using a Grand Tour as part of a new series. It'll be probably a mix of streams and videos similar to my Pilots Live series, and we'll be doing this F1 World Tour for 2024. We'll get as far as we can into it until the 2025 F1 season starts, and then we'll of course do the F1 season for 2025 next year. But if you do have any ideas for tours that we could do on the channel as a series, do let me know. Of course, you can make them yourself, and I can join them as well. See, lovely Bahrain here. All default, other than the auto. I've got auto running as well. The actual race circuit is over there somewhere, I believe. And engine number 2 starting. Got a good start on that. Let's start engine number 1 and get the doors to auto as well.
Listening.
Doors to armed mode, please.
All armed.
Perfect. And let's actually run the checklist. We did all that. We're going to override that. Right. Before taxi, we'll make sure we remember to do that one. Keep an eye on engine 2 here. There it goes. Set the parking brake. And if I now bring AGT in here, you can see it says now departing as our flight stage. It does track us as well, so you can see where we are. We've now pushed back. It will track the whole flight for us, and you have the different flight stages here, which is pretty cool. Disconnect. Alright, we'll go flaps 5 as well, set for takeoff. Everything on the overhead looks good. APU can now go off. Could work. You know, I completely forgot what I was going to say, so what is it that could work? You know, it's 33 degrees here. Let's open the window for our taxi. Okay. Oh, the link. Yeah, YouTube deletes the links that you send on my chat for some reason. But if you want to DM me on Discord, then that might work. I've got no idea why, because I've got all the all the link moderation stuff turned off, and it just blocks every single link from being sent for some reason, other than like my link. Sent to general, thank you. Island hopping, oh, that sounds cool. See, this is where AGT is different to a pilot's life. You know, you can't really do island hopping unless you join an airline that does island hopping. Let's just check, where is the... Okay, runway is off over here.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Alright, got the OBBI tracker working again. Yeah, so lots of ideas for AGT. And as I said, it'll just, you know, continue to improve and improve. And SimBitWorld, very well known for also, you know, very much listening to the users. You know, adding features from the feature request. And I mean, literally today someone said, oh, can we have more than 100 legs? And tomorrow we're getting an update which increases that. So they do listen to all the features. A lot of people were asking for APL for a pilot's life integration as well, so you know, sort of maybe links in, and they said they might take a look at that, see if that what they can do. But at the moment it's not planned, it's just something that they will take a look at. This is potentially the wrong way. Hang on. Or is it just a wrong marking? 12 left. Yeah, no, this is the right runway. Just this taxi sign here is incorrect. That says 12 left, this said 30. Yeah, this says runway 30. This says 12 left. Interesting. We do need to close the window, yes, absolutely. Let's actually do that now. It's gonna take a while on the scroll wheel.
Approaching.
I wish there was a click spot to just fully open and fully close. Alright, so that's locked. Landing. You know what we didn't do? We didn't do the checklist. TCAS. Let's line it up.
Clear right.
Everything is planned since no airports have fuel, some are only touch and goes. Oh, cool. That actually sounds pretty nice. Right. Skylar, honestly, you might be right. Close the windows rather than open in hot weather. The aircraft does have AC.
Check. Checked. Rounded.
Takeoff.
Alright, before takeoff done.
Checklist, please.
Landing gear up.
We should be good. Alright. Landing gear is definitely not up. TCAS is on. Our transponder's on. All that good stuff. Alrighty. Let's release the parking brake. I know I have a cabin call. I'll answer that later. I think that's just them telling us cabin's ready. But anyway, we'll pull them up. 40%. Ogre. Here we go. Oh yeah, lovely sounds. 80 knots. Release forward pressure on the yoke. Crazy acceleration. V1. Rotate. Positive rates. Gears going up. Oh yeah. Well, the flight director's got Bahrain to our left. Can't actually see it. For the main city at least. It's got LNAV VNAV. I think we had a little bounce on the runway there as we took off, hence why the landing rate came up. So we'll just follow these flight directors. And we're flaps 1. And we'll go autopilot. Go for a bit of a flyby with the city in the background there. What a beautiful shot. Brilliant. Flaps can go up. See what that cabin call was from earlier.
Listening.
Captain, we are already here. Safety briefing has been read. Cabin is secured.
Checklist complete.
Okay, and there's a checklist for after takeoff.
Send checklist. Recall. Check.
There we are. So if I bring this back here, as you can see now, it says we're en route. It is continuing to track us away from the island, as we can see here, and that will track us all the way to Bahrain. Actually going to be overflying Riyadh. Nice, brilliant climb performance. This is the latest beta of the 777 V2. I know they worked on some of the VNAV logic, so let's see what kind of improvement we get. Bahrain is a major hub for DHL. Of course, a lot of the F1 cargo goes through Bahrain Airport. There's a lot of long hauls on my tour, as we're climbing here. We go to browse tours, and we go to mine. So you can just search, you know, if you want by my name. Or is that not gonna? Interesting. That doesn't show anything. Oh, by, I guess there is Formula 1 World Tour. And you can see all the legs here. This one's pretty long. Jeddah to Melbourne, almost 7,000 nautical miles. Miami to Budapest, I think there was. Shanghai to Budapest, that's a really long haul. There was also, I had to add a stopover between Austin. Yeah, so Singapore and Austin, I had to add a stopover. Otherwise, it was like a 8,500 mile flight. So I did a stopover in San Francisco and then on to Austin. Yeah, there's all the races are here. For the whole season. You got, you know, Abu Dhabi at the end there. Some are quite short flights, you know, 174 miles. There's some, you know, this is Milan, I think, to Nice, 184 nautical miles. Yeah, every race is here. I tried to pick the airport closest to them, to the, you know, actual track that is suitable for a long haul airliner, which is pretty cool. We are well above 10,000 now, so let's go standard on the altimeter. And we'll put the first officer side standard as well. This can go back to ND. Yeah, we can leave the checklist there, that's fine. And we'll get the landing lights off, runway turn off lights, and the taxi light can go off as well. Fantastic. And we are cruising. A helicopter ferry tour, that would be very cool. There is helicopter tours. There is a whole aircraft type you can change to helicopter. That would be pretty cool, actually. See, this is a kind of you know, open thinking that this app really allows. It's, you know, other people are going to come up with ideas that you've never thought of, airports you've never heard of, which is the, you know, the really cool thing about it. Yeah, I'd love to do a helicopter tour using this, actually. You know, fly some helis on the channel potentially. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, en route, about 1.5 hours. Manila is... Right. How do I pronounce this? Isaf Jodor. Isaf Jodor. Isaf Jodor. I guess? Hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly. In a heli. How long is that? I don't know the second place. I would guess if you're saying it's far away, get you a few months. I mean, people have done, someone has done a GA tour across the whole world, which will definitely take a long time. Oh, it's in Iceland, I see, okay. Oh wow, yeah, no, that is a long route. If that's an Icelandic area in Iceland, Manila to Iceland, wow. Yeah, it really does add a purpose to your flight, you know, that sense of progression. Definitely adds to your, you know, the motivation. If you need motivation to fly, the sense of progression of going through this tour, and eventually completing the tour, it'll get you through, you know. The city of Dammam below us. We are now in Saudi Arabian airspace and will be for the rest of the flight. Right, Purser.
Listening.
I can bring you some coffee, Captain. Would you like it?
Oh, yes, please.
I wouldn't say no.
Would you like it with milk?
Yes, of course.
Milk will do fine.
No problem.
There it is. Hey, Carson, welcome. Is the Flight Factor 777V2 worth money? Absolutely. Probably more so than any other aircraft in the sim, to be quite honest. It is incredible. The features, just this EFB alone will you know, you can spend hours searching through this. All the maintenance options, the 777 in general is such a great aircraft. You know, the performance of the aircraft is fantastic in terms of the range. You can do short hops, you can do long hops with it. You know, the 777 in general is fantastic, and Flight Factor have done a very, very good job with it. VNAV is now implemented, Carson. VNAV is now implemented. as Skyler says, they're not fully implemented, but parts, the main parts are implemented. The aircraft is, it's worth remembering, it's still in, it's a public beta at the moment. Full release is expected in February of next year, from what I know. But yeah, for a beta, it's very, very good. Definitely worth the money. And yeah, that Steve, worth every penny. Absolutely. Are you getting Microsoft Flight Sim in 2024? If you are, which version? I don't really use Microsoft Flight Sim, but I think I'll get the cheaper version. So I will probably get Microsoft Flight Sim in 2024. Definitely intrigued by it. As you know, I enjoy both sims. X-Plane is my main sim, but I do enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim. It does do some things better than X-Plane in terms of, obviously the visuals and things like that. General exploration, because the scenery is better. But, yeah, I don't know which version of 2024 I will get, just because they are expensive. I think I'll end up getting the Premium Deluxe, I think it is, because that has a 787 and everything, which I do fly a fair bit. Anyway, so yeah, I will be covering it as well on the channel. That's another reason I'll get it, just to cover it on the channel, make videos on it. You guys can see what I think of it. I'm definitely intrigued by it. I know there's a whole career progression and all the missions. They sound cool. More so from a gaming perspective, they sound cool to just to give you something to do, as it were. But from a flight sim, hardcore flight sim perspective, I think they've gone the opposite direction, if that makes sense. But I enjoy both sims, just for different things, X-Plane is my main sim. I use it for my real-world flight training. And just almost everything else. Microsoft Flight Sim generally, obviously to cover add-ons for the channel, for content. Sometimes you just want to fly to really beautiful areas, and they look best in Microsoft Flight Sim a lot of the time. So, but there is a lack of commercial airliners in Microsoft Flight Sim. We have the main ones, the 320, the 737. We now have the 777. But in terms of long haul, we really only have the 777 in Microsoft Flight Sim. So yeah, looking forward to when other stuff comes out, like the INI builds A350. If that's any good, we don't know yet. We'll have to see. Carson, yeah, I see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it really comes down to which sim you prefer at the end of the day. PMDG is great, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy flying that aircraft. I've flown it a lot. I think it's pretty good. I do think the flight factor is more complete. It has got better sounds, in my opinion, as well. The PMDG 777 sounds are a little bit disappointing. They do need a little bit of work. But the flight factor sounds are fantastic. The systems, the EFB integration is all much better. The failures, depth of simulation, especially with the CBs and all that, is a lot better. Visuals, the PMDG will probably take that one. Visuals are better on PMDG, but the 777 looks very, very good. The flight factor version looks very good in X-Plane as well. So it almost does come down to what sim you prefer. But yeah, 2024 looking good. I think they've gone the right way. I don't think they want to compete with X-Plane. I don't think they were ever going to do that. In terms of the flight model and system depth, even the weather model in X-Plane is a lot better, and that's talking from personal experience in the real world, flying not mine, I should say, flying the Cessna 152 for training. But I think they've gone the right way with the missions, the career mode. That'll bring a lot of people to the sim from a gaming perspective. More casual simmers. But hardcore sim, X-Plane is still my number one. Antonio, I agree. Flight factor 777, one of the best airliners on any sim. It really is. It's probably the most complex aircraft I have currently. I know the Holstar CO's 650 is up there as well for sure. I don't own that, but that's something I do want to get at some point. Holding out for the flight back to 787. Yeah, you know, I just want a study level 787. The Magnite is disappointing, to be honest. I am going to cover it again on the channel, but the last couple of flights I've done with it are just, yeah, it's still not up to spec, in my opinion. The next best is, I guess, the Horizon Sim 787 and the Kuro 787 and Microsoft Flight Sim. They're not bad, but they're, you know, freeware quality. Systems are, I would say, good enough for an A to B flight, but if you want to start doing failures or anything a bit more in depth, you can't. So, you know, they're good. I enjoy flying them, but the flight model is a little bit strange on them. So yeah, a 787 in X-Plane with the whole, you know, the X-Plane systems flight model is just fantastic. Can't wait for something like that. Lovely orthos from Auto today. Agree on the sounds, yeah. Things I already have the 787, I don't want to get it twice, so getting the deluxe to get airplanes I already have. Oh, which 787 do you have, Antonio, for Microsoft Flight Sim? As far as I'm aware, all the 787 add-ons in Microsoft Flight Sim require the base premium deluxe version, from what I know. So I think even, I know there's the Bravo Simulation 787, but I think that again is based on the default. CL650 is sweet, yeah, I know, it's just expensive, but it, you know, worth every penny, don't get me wrong. I've not even flown it, but from what I've seen on YouTube, it's definitely worth every penny, just a little bit expensive. But definitely an aircraft I do want to try at some point, for sure. Alright, so we reached our cruise altitude then. We are cruising at Mach 0.82 at the moment, on our way to Jeddah. Yeah, any of you into F1? Any of you watch or keep up with F1? The season, this season is starting to get pretty exciting. Bit of a championship battle between Lando and Max. We'll see how that one plays out towards the end of the season. It'll definitely get quite interesting. And yeah, also both AGT, a Grand Tour, and a Pilot's Life don't affect FPS in any way. You know, they connect via XP UIPC and FS UIPC if you're using Microsoft Flight Sim. Very, very easy to set up. I will have a full video coming out on a Grand Tour, coming out probably tomorrow. I'm actually going to work on it after this stream. So if you did want to watch that, that'll be a, you know, summary of what the software does and a bit of a review on it, and also how to set it up. But yeah, setup is really easy. You just got to register. There is a manual included as well, which is very in-depth, explains everything. There's a link in the description to the Sim Market store if you do want to pick it up. I think it's priced quite fairly as well. I think it's €15 from what I've seen. You know, and for that, lifetime updates, you know, this is not a subscription. They have stated, SimBitWorld did state that they are planning to stay off subscription for as long as they can, which is good. So once you purchase it, you get all the future updates as well. Sim Crash Lite, yeah, I know, I should get the CL650. I should. I have the freeware 787, which has no cabin, and I hate not having a cabin. 787-10 default, and the Kuro 787-8, which is okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I use the Kuro and the Horizon Sim, but they are, you will need the premium deluxe version if you want to use those, because they use the default 787 assets. So you can't use those without premium deluxe Microsoft Flight Sim. Check, explain screenshots. Let me do that. You put a video. I'll play that later. Take a look at that later. Will the 777-200 come with the 300 included, or will it be sold separately? So the 200 is on sale at the moment, and you just get the 200. The 300 will be a separate purchase when the 300 comes out. Of course, it will be discounted if you buy the 200. So you're not paying the same price. I believe there will also be packs, so you can buy them all in one go, which will be a bit more expensive. So I believe the way they're going to do it is very similar to how they've done their 757 and 767, where you can buy the basic package, and the higher up the package you go, the more variants you get, and you can then buy those separately as well. So I have the 200 right now. When the 300 comes out, I will probably you will have to buy that separately, but it will be cheaper. And then of course there will be the freighter. So I don't know how many variants will be included in each pack. I would presume they are, they're not going to sell, because there's like, what, 6 different variants of the 777. I don't think they're going to do those separately. They'll probably package them up. As Skyler says, they might just do a full extended pack as well. So we'll have to see. It'll definitely be a separate purchase though, unless you buy the full pack with the 200 included. We know of the 300ER, 200LR, and F, yes. Look at that. This is the passenger variant with just the DHL livery and the windows blocked out. This isn't technically the cargo variant of the aircraft. We still have a... I've locked it, haven't I? This is still the passenger variant of the aircraft, as you can see. So I'm afraid that Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 will make even more developers leave X-Plane and go to Microsoft for the money. I love the community aspect of X-Plane. I think it's in danger of becoming unsustainable. I sort of have a similar worry. I think it's definitely a possibility, but I do think also the developers that have gone to Microsoft Flight Sim have gone. If the current X-Plane developers that we have now wanted to move to Microsoft Flight Sim, they would have already. If Flight Factor wanted to, they would have already. I don't think they're going anywhere. But I have heard of some developers coming back to X-Plane, and Microsoft Flight Sim developers that started with Microsoft Flight Sim also starting to develop for X-Plane as well. So I do think the X-Plane developers, we're going to be back on the rise, which is good from what I've heard. But yeah, I think if developers would have or wanted to move to Microsoft Flight Sim, they would have done it already. I don't think we're going to lose any more. I know some developers who are going to start developing for both. So I know Ty Models has started developing for both simulators, but he hasn't left X-Plane. SFD, who we had on the channel recently, he also said he's going to develop for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, but he's not leaving X-Plane. He just wants to develop for both. So what do you think about the MD-11 packs? I've not tried it myself, but if it's anything like the Rotate, the MD-11 freighter, fantastic. I might get the upgrade for the passenger version as well. I'll have to see. But the Rotate MD-11 is a fantastic plane. Very much recommend it. I have the payware Bahrain scenery, and I did delete the old terminal, which was still there, so the scenery is up to date now. Oh, fantastic. I was just using the default there, but I know it's quite outdated. The default Jeddah scenery in X-Plane 12 is very broken. There's no jetways or anything, so I did download a freeware scenery for that. Skylar, I agree with that. Yeah, that's another worry I have. If your internet connection is unstable, you're just not going to be able to fly in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. There's so much reliance on streaming, and that could potentially cause issues. I know, you know, for me, I'm thinking about my internet connection. To stream on YouTube, I need a good internet connection. I need a good upload speed, right? And when I'm running Microsoft Flight Sim, is that going to take up all the bandwidth and cause issues for streaming on YouTube? So that's something we'll have to see. Internet is always getting better, obviously, but there's still some areas which, you know, still have slow internet, don't have a stable internet connection. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But I do think some users will move back to X-Plane purely for that reason, or stay on 2020. Just want Just Flight to come back so they can update their Avro to XP12. Yeah, I know. They've been doing some minor stuff. They still update Traffic Global. They still update. They did the Duchess. They've done the the PA28 as well. So they're doing some GA stuff and updating Just Flight still. Sorry, Traffic Global still. But I want the BAE 146 and the Avro, as you say, and some of their older aircraft to be updated for XP12. Antonio, I feel the same. I enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim, but X-Plane is home. Yeah, that's how I feel when I fly X-Plane. It's just, everything is so familiar. I know exactly what X-Plane's doing, how it works, how to fix it, you know. Microsoft Flight Sim, I don't know as much about, so. Oh, I see, Skylar. It's all Frender. That's true, actually. The Duchess was with Frender. How much was Frender? I don't know. Maybe they're just using the Just Flight name to sell it. But yeah, I think the BAE 146 will do great on X-Plane 12. I would have thought, but. Do you know if Flight Factor will ever upgrade their 767 to today's standard for X-Plane 12? So it is obviously, you know, fully functional in X-Plane 12. I actually really enjoy flying the 767, but if you're talking about, you know, bringing it up to 777 V2 standard, I think they will, but it's going to be a while. So, you know, we have the 777 variant still to come out, the 787 as well. Then they're working on the A350 with towless. And then after that, I believe they're going to do the 757, 767 updates. They may even be completely new versions, I don't know. But they do plan to, it's just going to be a few years for sure. And weather radar, yeah, that looks so cool, right? The weather radar. Yeah, the new weather radar coming for X-Plane just looks crazy. Like, it's ridiculously good and so realistic. I can't wait, because that is actually going to be very useful for IFR training as well, potentially, just knowing how to use that properly. F28 for X-Plane, yeah, I know, right? That would be so cool. It's like I've been seeing everyone fly the FSS 727, and man, I can't wait for FlyJSim to release their X-Plane 12 update for that, because the 727 is such a cool plane. Yes, need the Aerobasque 8X. We do. We really do. Aerobasque always make fantastic products. I was talking to some people in my Discord earlier, and you know, I want to get the Phenom. That's probably going to be next when it's on sale. I'm going to get the Phenom, but I love flying the Epic E1000, the Epic Victory, the DA62. Just fantastic planes. Steve, it's kind of weird that they didn't, but at the same time, when X-Plane 12 was in early access, they're changing so much that I don't think developers would even be able to keep up with all the changes in X-Plane. So maybe that's why. I really hope Azobo is giving developers like PMDG, Phoenix, all of these fantastic developers early access, and you know, to allow them to start updating their aircraft a lot quicker for X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Because that's going to be pretty critical, I think, getting those aircraft out. Because without you know, Phoenix and PMDG and Fly-by-Wire and all these other great developers, Microsoft Flight Sim is just, you know, it relies on add-ons. Same with X-Plane, it relies on the add-ons. Can't wait to deal with more weather diversion on VATSIM. Skylight, yeah, absolutely, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, as you say, more people will just ignore it and fly straight through it. That's absolutely gonna happen. I mean, sometimes I fly, you know, if I see weather in front of me, even with the current weather radar, I fly straight through it just for jokes, you know, just for the fun, see what will happen. Give myself a bit of a challenge, right? But yeah, that'll bring a whole new aspect to VATSIM. It really will. Just having the, you know, the 3D weather radar is very, very cool. Yeah, we need that 777 short runway stream. Oh, we do. You know what we do? We'd have to do, maybe we'll use AGT for that and do it as a tour. Maybe. We can make it as a public tour, like a 777 short runway tour sort of thing. I'm an L1 at VZDC on VATSIM. If I'm busy, you ain't getting a deviation. This is all auto. Very, very lovely, looking very nice. I did release my auto tutorial last week, the new one. So it's all now up to date. Flew into CYHE, 3,960 feet, all grass. Want the 777-200 LR, shouldn't there be a voting? They did a couple of votes for some different decisions. It didn't really work well. So I think they're gonna, you know, bring them out in the order which works best for them. Maybe they will do a vote, I don't know, but last time Flight Factor did a vote for these kind of decisions, it didn't really go well. Boeing did test a 737 there. What zoom level does auto use? So auto uses the best available zoom level based on your PC, internet connection, and distance. So the best way to explain it is, for example, here, because I'm at a high altitude, it's using probably zoom level 16, I would guess right now. Further away, like over there where you can't even see because of the haze, it's using a lower zoom level. As we get closer, it will replace it with higher quality images. Around all the airports, it uses zoom level 18. So it's not one fixed zoom level, it changes depending on how far it is away from the aircraft, your altitude, which optimizes performance. Because if you had zoom level 18 for this whole area, and you're trying to stream that and convert it to DDS files, you know, your PC just would not be able to handle it. So you can change the minimum. So I've changed my minimum to 13, but I don't recommend going any higher than that. Is this true regarding weather? Even with a radar, everyone's depiction will be different based on a host of variables. I'm not sure, actually. But I can imagine there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables. So, potentially. Ramsey said he liked the closed alpha. Yeah, did he? That's good. I just think the poll didn't lead to a conclusive answer. So it didn't, you know, the poll didn't work as intended, if you see what I mean. You know, they didn't get a clear answer and they ended up just making the decision themselves, so. 787 likely go through the same process. Yeah, I mean, the 777, you know, once it, you know, took off, it worked, sort of, so. A lot of bugs got fixed, still are being fixed. Do you use RAM or SSD? Because I'm quite RAM limited. It uses both SSD, it will use some RAM and it will use some VRAM. In terms of your local storage space, you'll need around 80 gigs for the whole world, for the base packages. And then of course you'll need a little bit for your cache, but you can set your cache to wherever you want. So I use a 30 gig cache, and then you can just empty that as and when you want, really. But how much RAM do you have? I have 32 gigs and it works just fine for me. I would say with 16 it'll work, but you may run into performance issues potentially. And I didn't even realize this is Riyadh. The city of Riyadh. 8 gig. Oh yeah, 8 gig you may struggle. X-Plane in general will struggle with 8 gig. It struggles with 16 gig, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I think 8 gig you're probably pushing it there. Unless you're flying GA, that might help, but you know, especially airliners with auto you might struggle. Yeah, Dankus Osprey. Auto works better than map enhancement for me. I don't use map enhancement anymore. You know, the first couple of versions of map enhancement worked really well for me, and then as it got updated, it got worse and worse, and so I stopped using it, moved back to auto, and I'm very happy with it. I mean, on my new PC with the new CPU, specs can be found by typing !specs in the chat or in the description. I get no stutters with auto at all, and as you can see, it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks the same as if I have pre-downloaded auto for XP12 running. You know, so very happy with auto. Struggles with 32 gig if you have Firefox running. Yeah. X-Plane uses a lot. I think I use 25 gigs of RAM roughly on average when running X-Plane. Firefox is a RAM hog, so I do not use that. I use Vivaldi, and that's actually pretty good for my browser. Hey Oliver, welcome. I have a 5800 X3D and no issue so far. Yeah, the AMD X3D CPUs are fantastic. I have a 7800 X3D and I'm incredibly impressed by it. I mean, its performance is great. The efficiency is fantastic. And because the efficiency is good, you know, there's a less power output. The temperatures are very good. I have a 40-pound air cooler on my CPU, on my motherboard right now. It is a very highly rated cooler. It's the Peerless Assassin I have, and my temps are incredibly stable. I never go above anything, you know, 80 degrees, and that's when I'm really pushing X-Plane and pushing benchmark. But in fact, let's see, how much am I on now? If I open hardware monitor. We can see how much I'm using right now, what my temps are. My room is at 23 degrees right now, my ambient temperature. So we can see here, my package temp for the CPU is 70 degrees. It's been, we'll leave it running, we'll take a look at the end actually, but you know, the core's running at between 40 and 50 degrees, 60. So, you know, considering I'm running X-Plane right now and auto, which will use a fair bit of CPU, 70 degrees isn't too bad for an air cooler. I have got the RPM speeds manually set a little bit higher in my BIOS, but yeah, very nice for me. We'll leave that running, we'll take a look at what our max temp was at the end of the flight, actually. Yeah, it is chromium, so no U-block, that is true, unfortunately, but the inbuilt ad blocker and tracker blocker works quite well for me on Vivaldi, and it's really quick. It doesn't use much RAM at all, so I've been enjoying Vivaldi. I have 128 gig of RAM, and when I start X-Plane 12 with not that many plugins and the Zebo, I do have some nice scenery. Yes, with some extra programs I easily use 24 gig. Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, on a long haul, I'll use up to 30, and that's, you know, pushing the, that's pushing my RAM. But yeah, 32 gig works okay for me. Recently, the last beta update for me hasn't been running particularly well in terms of RAM and VRAM. It's been using a lot more than usual. So hopefully Laminar can get around to fixing that. Hey Anthony, welcome. Love your streams. Thank you very much. Nimbus ATL mod is great. Yeah. It's up by our good friend Tearware Designs or Lee. And yeah, I don't have Nimbus Atlanta, but I do want to get it just because of his XP12 mod for it. It does look fantastic. So I might get Nimbus Atlanta and then add his mod. It does look very good. Thing with uBlock is that you can add your own filters to bypass paywalls in additional ad. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, very cool. The only thing is YouTube doesn't work with AdBlock, does it? Which is a bit of an issue. Although I have YouTube Premium anyway, so I don't get YouTube ads. But it would still stop working, right? CTP on the 19th, did you show interest? I did not, because I'm not free on the 19th, unfortunately. I really want to get onto CTP or across the land at some point and stream it. But every time, the day, I'm just not free. I have coursework the week after that as well, due, so it'll be a busy time for me. So unfortunately, yeah, I won't be doing that. Also, premium works fine. Okay, I'll have to take a look. I might take another look and compare them. Flew a 2-hour leg in Brazil with a Zebo. Ran into insane turbulence, 32,000 feet. I do have XP reality though. Love that about X-Plane. Yeah, the X-Plane weather system's really nice. It's not perfect, but it is really nice. You do get turbulence. XP realistic helps a lot as well with additional turbulence, or making the turbulence more present. Do you have the Challenger? If so, can you do a tutorial? It's so complex. I don't have the Challenger, unfortunately. We were talking about this earlier in the stream. I do want to get it. It's a fantastic aircraft. It's just a little bit expensive at the moment, but we'll get it in the future at some point. And when I do, I will do a tutorial. Absolutely. But Anthony, there's a lot of people in my Discord who have the Challenger, so I'm sure if you do want to join there'll be a lot of people willing to help there. Sim Crash Fly, no worries. Thank you very much for being here. Any chance of a flight to LFMQ land on the back straight of the track? Is that LFMQ? What airport's that? Let me have a look. But yeah, we can do. Le Castle. Oh, you're talking about the racetrack, Le Castle? Land on the back straight. It's a long straight. That'll be an interesting challenge, actually. There's a nice scenery for it, isn't there, on the org? So yeah, we could do that at some point, actually. Does this plane wind flex and or engine wobble? It does. We're in pretty stable air right now, so we might not see too much wing flex right now, but on landing you can definitely see it, and during engine start you can see the engine wobble for sure. Yeah, the wings aren't flexing too much right now, but there is wing flex. You'll see it on landing in the replay, probably. Either that or race with a 777 tug. That'd be pretty funny. Is that the Inibuild's F1 car that they added in Microsoft Flight Sim for April Fools? That was pretty cool. When I download the 777 cargo liveries, they don't work. Oh, really? I didn't do anything to get all the cargo liveries to work. They should work off the bat. When you say they don't work, what do you mean by that? Do they just not load, or do they still have windows, or? Miss those April Fool's add-ons like the Flagger Sim 737 RC plane. Yeah, looking forward to what happens next year. Hopefully more devs do something for April Fool's. I think it's pretty funny. I think it's good for community engagement as well. Like, I load it up and it's just a white livery. Yeah, that would suggest that the livery, there's an issue with, you know, the livery itself. Maybe it's not been made correctly. Which ones are you trying? Is this happening with all of them? Like all the major ones on the org? I know that I have the Aero, obviously this one works, but this one's a private livery. I know the Aerologic one from the 777, the downloads page on the club from the org. I know that one works. Beautiful. Really, really love the 777. Just look at that. Look at the dirt on the wings. The texture work is phenomenal. And the sounds are fantastic. So, let's see. If we go to VNav here. Or is it progress? Yeah, progress. Let's see, how long to our top of descent? Got 422 miles to Jeddah. In the sim it's 10:25, it's saying 11:30, so about an hour and 5 minutes left to go on this flight. So we should land around 20:30 Zulu, roughly. 9:30 for me here in the UK. Why is that private livery? It was made by a friend, and they asked not to share it. Essentially, that's just why. They just asked me not to share it with anyone. That's why it's private. Don't know why, but that's their decision. Do you have any videos or suggestions on free plugins for XP12? So I don't have a video actually, but it's something I want to do. Is a you know, free plugin video for XP12. But some of my suggestions, I can bring them up here. Auto DGS, this one's really cool. It adds marshaller or a VDGS system at every airport. So for all the, you know, your default airports, you can still have that functionality. It works really well for me. In fact, we'll probably see it working at Jeddah when we land. You can enable it for custom sceneries as well, or disable it for certain sceneries and use the inbuilt marshaller if it has that with, you know, payware airports, for example. This is essential freeware, I would say. Shared flight is not free. XP Realistic is not free, but something I really do recommend. Adds various sound effects and camera effects to the sim. Like when you land, it'll add, if I go here, touchdown front, see how it adds that sort of animation. It's pretty cool. I do recommend that. It's pretty cheap on the forum actually, but again, not freeware. OpenSAM, this is another one that I highly recommend. If you're familiar with the SAM plugin, you know, for jetways and marshallers and stuff, this is that, but it fixes a lot of the issues, and you can still undock jetway. A lot of payware airports will use OpenSAM. Avitab is another pretty essential add-on. I don't use it that much, but a lot of people do. You know, you can have charts, like local PDF charts. You can search airports, so we can search for Jeddah if we type in the code correctly, OEJN. And you can see all the frequencies here, the runways with information, the weather, which is useful as well. And then you have a map. This is a live map. I'll have to give it a bit of time to load, but maybe I need to, there it is, so you can sort of see where you are when it loads at least. and you can access nodes. You can access Navigraph charts as well if you have it signed in, which I don't at the moment. A lot of aircraft use this on the inbuilt EFB. Fly with lower for lower scripts is another pretty essential one. It doesn't do anything on its own, but it does mean you can add a load of scripts, such as this ground handling script I have, which is disabled because we're flying in the air right now. Then there's better pushback, which is definitely essential, especially if you're flying airliners. That is the pushback that we used earlier. Much better pushback system than the default pushback. This is, again, essential. And you can now update this with Skunkcraft Updater, which is pretty cool. And terrain radar adds terrain radar for certain aircraft. I think the Zebra uses this, and the Zebra only, as far as I know. Stan, is this a sound pack or part of the aircraft? No, this is the default sounds as part of the aircraft. They are very, very good. So there's, yeah, no need for a sound pack on this aircraft. I don't think anyone is going to make a sound pack for this, really. I can't see many people purchasing one because the default sounds are very good. I know, you know, Mango Studios were asked if they're going to make a sound pack for this aircraft, and they said no at the moment because there's no need for it, really. What's the packs on this flight? Because I believe you are simulating cargo ops, but it's kind of different when it's technically the passenger version. So what I did is I just filled this from SimBrief, and it does it via an AIM Sim zero fuel weight. So rather than doing it on a per passenger basis, I did it as a per zero fuel weight basis. Then obviously added my fuel as normal. So the zero fuel weight is all technically, you know, the same. But the passengers, how many passengers do we have? We should be able to see it somewhere, right? 229, the max, technically, is what we have on board. Hey, Shipdub, welcome. Little nav map is awesome too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't personally use it, but I've also seen that that's pretty good, very useful as well. Purchased GSX yesterday, and it's a lovely combo with the Phoenix 320. Yeah, you know, GSX is great, and particularly with the Phoenix aircraft, the integration is just amazing. It's something we need in X-Plane, but yeah, the integration with the Phoenix aircraft is fantastic. The integration with the PMDG aircraft is not as good, but yeah, GSX is fantastic. Really, really good, especially just for things like pushing back and marshallers and stuff. Adds a lot to the sim. They're trying to make CTP. Told us A330 release date just got more expensive. Are they bringing the release forward so that people can use it for CTP? Can you go over some of the lower scripts? Yeah, I can go over a few that I have installed here. Did you select the plane in SimBrief as the 777F? No, I selected it as the 772. So SimBrief doesn't actually know I'm flying the freighter variant. Just to keep things, you know, consistent between the sim and the SimBrief flight plan. Because things like your CEG could be different then, which we don't want. You move the air vents in the cockpit and the sound of air changes. Yeah, if we go here, it's very subtle, so I'll stay quiet, but you'll hear the pitch change slightly when I point it towards us. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Oh, cost, we're trying to get the 330 sound pack out on the same day. I see. Yeah, cost. You know, the cost sound pack is fantastic for the A320 series of aircraft. And Cosp, who is HKK, who did the sounds for this aircraft, the 777, very, very good sound developer. Very good. So, lower scripts then. It might be a bit easier if I do this, actually. Let me bring up all my scripts. So, here are all my scripts then. So, B2 volume control, this is for this here. Means I can control the volume of the sim from here. It makes it really easy when I'm streaming, so I can adjust the volume and stuff. So that's a very useful free script. Cloud tweaks is what I'm currently using for the clouds and sky colors and stuff, although I'm going to upgrade this V2 and make my own preset. This is a very nice free Lua script. Makes the X-Plane look fantastic in my opinion. Landing rate is, you'll see when I land, it'll come up with a landing rate here, and you know, it'll assess my landing essentially. So that's again really useful to have, especially when you're flying airliners. OpenSAM is part of the plugin I explained earlier. PMCO is for callouts in the toeless aircraft. So it adds first officer callouts like you know, for flaps, for the various speeds, for gear up. So you know, if I go flaps 1, it will say speed check flaps 1, for example, which is quite nice. And this is just, you know, these two linked together. Then simple ground services is for all the ground services I use. Sometimes, at least for the flight factor aircraft, I use the inbuilt ones. But for everything else, I use simple ground services, and it's got animated passengers, animated cargo loading. It's really very cool, so that's what I use, and all of these are completely free. Have you tried calling crew rest? I've not. How do I do that? Is it in PA? This flight factor 777 has to be one of the best planes in X-Plane. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. 100%. Probably the best airliner we have in the sim, I would say. The toeless aircraft are very, very, very close. But I think the visuals and the sounds on this aircraft are better. But I'm looking forward to the A330 from toeless. Crew rest. What was that? Is that what it's meant to be? I've got no idea what that was. Was it someone like half asleep? Oh, Alex saying best of Z, but you know, I almost kind of agree with that. The Zebo is so good, and we need to fly it on the channel. Again, because I've not flown the Zebo in a while. That is probably my favorite plane of all, because I've flown it the most. But the Zebo is the first aircraft, you know, airliner I learned to fly. You know, full cold dark setup, all of that. I just love the Zebo. The flight model is amazing. One of the best in the sim, if not the best in the sim. Sounds are fantastic. You know, the Zebo is on par with the 777 V2, and it's free. You know, that's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, the VNAV in the Zebo is the best VNAV in any sim that I've seen ever. You know, it's very good, very realistic, and constant updates. The Zebo and Tweakster just doing, yeah, fantastic updates, Alex. They really are. I've not tried the new flight model. I do want to try it though, the new tweaked flight model. Yeah, I think I woke someone up. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's what I mean with this plane. You just keep finding more and more things about the plane. I've had it for months now, and I'm still finding new features. Yeah, Dave Cat, absolutely. New updates almost every day. It's crazy. Amazing work for free as well. The Zebo is awesome. I flew it today. This one is better. Yeah, the Zebo is fantastic. It really is. Not too much to see today, but also Ortho's looking nice. It is mainly just desert here. But we've got our descent coming up in, what's that, about 120 miles? You fly all Boeings. Yeah, Alex, you love Boeings, don't you? The only one of those I haven't got is 747, the SSG 747. That is probably going to be another one to get as well. I do have the Fearless, but I've not flown it properly yet. I need to spend some time learning that. I have not saved this situation, but that would probably be a good idea, Skylar. Let's see. I can't remember how to do this. Situation. Save situation by name. Can we do that? Save. There it is. N1, welcome. How's it going? SSG 747 had a rough start, but the version after 2.4 great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of improvements. I want to try it. I also want to try the AKD Gulfstream, which I'm probably going to try as well. I know it's at the moment it's not, you know, flight factor or TOTUS level, but it seems to be getting a lot of updates. It seems to be getting better and better, and that's something I look for in an add-on. If an add-on is, you know, if we say, I don't know, 6 or 5 out of 10, but it's constantly getting updates and you can see the developer is listening to feedback and is looking to improve the aircraft, that's something that's quite important. And that would make me want to purchase the aircraft just for, you know, even if for the future, you know. Yeah, I do want to try the SSG. I know they are working on a new 747, which is going to be under the FPS name. And yeah, Rotate MD-11, fantastic aircraft as well.
Listening.
Captain, why did you wake up the Klingon?
So they've called us back asking why they woke someone up. Yeah, your global forest issue, N1, is kind of strange. It may have been a VRAM issue. I've never had any issue with global forest, but had the SSG 747 for years now. It's really good. Not study level and passenger cabin is terrible, but it's fun. You'll love the cargo version. Yeah, I love doing cargo ops. I love flying cargo planes. So yeah, you know, I'm not too bothered about cabins, honestly. Obviously, it's nice if the cabin is really nicely modeled, like it is in this aircraft. But I don't spend any time at all in the cabin, so it doesn't bother me too much. In all honesty, and yeah, 747 not study level, but I think I'll still enjoy it. You know, the Flight Factor A350 gets a lot of negative comments, and it's not a high quality add-on, I would say, but I still enjoy it. It's like my second most flown aircraft in terms of flight time. I really enjoy flying the A350. It definitely has its issues, it has its bugs, it has its quirks. Visually, it's not very good. The sounds are terrible, but the Mango Studio sound pack makes up for that. But I still enjoy flying that aircraft, you know. So not all aircraft have to be up to this standard for me to enjoy them. What I'm trying to say, sort of. Yeah, freight. There's something about flying freight which I really enjoy. I think it's because, you know, obviously I live near East Midlands Airport. All we see is we get a lot of 737s, you know, standard Jet2, Ryanair 737s. But we get a lot of cargo ops, especially at night. You know, A300s, 757s, 767s, 777s especially. 747s as well. I think that might be why. Packs are annoying. Yeah, from a pilot perspective, makes the job a lot easier, right? Thought about getting the 350, but I'm going to wait for the new one coming out from Flight Factor until this year. That's probably smart. I got my A350 probably around this time last year, so well before the announcement. Yeah, Yeah, probably smart to wait for the new one, unless you really want an A350 and you get it on sale. Then it may be worth it potentially. But yeah, the flight back A350 is definitely flyable. It's got SimBrief integration, which is nice. The flight model in the pitch is a bit off. It's very slow and sluggish in the pitch, more than it should be. So it makes landing a little bit difficult, but you do get used to it. And someone has released the A350 1000 mod as well, so that's now XP12 compatible, which is nice. Yeah, absolutely, Alex. A bit of a mesh discrepancy there. Also, might wait to get the Iron Eye on Microsoft Flight Sim. Yeah, that's something I'm keeping an eye on as well, because I do enjoy the in-builds A300 in Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane, but very sad news that they aren't going to provide any more support for the A300 or Beluga in X-Plane. And they took them off sale, so you can't buy them anymore, which is very disappointing. But the Microsoft Flight Sim add-ons are pretty good. Very nice. Tell you, I love the X-Plane camera system as well. It makes doing stuff like this so easy. I mean, you couldn't get a nice orbit like this in Microsoft Flight Sim. You'd have to go through the drone cam menu, and it takes a lot longer to get it all set up. In X-Plane, it's just Shift F4, hold the comma to, you know, fly away a little bit, and Control arrow key for a nice slow orbit. Makes it so easy. That's one thing that's on my wish list for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 would be a better camera system. You know, for example, the flyby, the Shift F2 camera we have on X-Plane makes getting nice landing shots super easy. You hit Shift F2, you set the camera where you want, and you press play. You know, Microsoft Flight Sim, it takes a lot longer to get those shots, and from a content creation perspective, it just means it's, you know, a lot more time has to be put into making those types of videos. So I hope we get a better camera system. I hope we get a better replay system. Better button mapping. GUI is incredibly true, Alex. I really don't like the current way they have their profile. So in Microsoft Flight Sim, the profile, you can't link it to an aircraft, so you have to change them manually, and you have a profile for each of your hardware controls. So you have to change all of your hardware controllers. You have to change the profile for them individually to whichever profile you want. In X-Plane, it's you have a profile and it changes all of them, which is so useful. And it does it automatically, so you don't even have to think about it once it's set up. Although that is something they are apparently changing in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Yeah, SPAD.next, yeah. That's pretty good. But see, it's payware. I think a feature, you know, features like that should come as default in the sim, like we have in X-Plane, you know. Hopefully the need for SPAD.next gets removed, if you see what I mean. Great software, don't get me wrong, but not something I would really pay for unless I use Microsoft Flight Sim more often than I do. If it was my main sim, maybe. But it's not my main sim, so... by the way, how is the sound volumes? You know, is the sim too loud, too quiet? Do let me know. Always looking for suggestions to make your viewing experience better. I see, Alex, yeah. Alright, where are we? Not too far to go till our top of descent here. and VNav, econ descent. Alright, so let's see what happens. We can probably do our performance for our landing now. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. About the sounds. It's always difficult to tell. See, things might sound good for me when I watch a stream back, but everyone has different headphones, or some people are using speakers, so always useful to get that sort of feedback. So I do appreciate that. Right, so we are using at Jeddah 3-4 right. So condition is dry, wind. Let's put this in. It's definitely not minus 55 degrees in Jeddah. So 350 at 6 for the wind. The temperature is 32 degrees, so still nice and warm. QNH 1007. Our estimated landing weight, I'll get it on the OFP, is, if I bring it across, you can see estimated landing weight is 174, or 174 tons. So put 174000. A reverse, both flaps 30, anti-ice off brakes, we'll go with 1 initially. VREF add 5 as normal, calculate. And so, landing distance 2,327 meters. If I go to airport info, so for 3-4 right, we have 4,000 meters, landing distance available 4,000 meters, so we have plenty of runway left, only using just over half, about 60% of the runway there, so that's perfect. VREF is, the normal VREF is 126, let's put that in. 126, which is already calculated there, perfect. Paid version of FSUI PC and remembers planes and has presets for virtually any payware aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim. How much is the paid version of FSUI PC? I have the free version for use with a Grand Tour and a Pilot's Life, for example. But I'm not sure how much the payware version is. If I bring up a Grand Tour here, let's see if there's any new. Look at this, United Island Hopper as a tour. Oh, look at this. This is cool. So, okay, it's kind of awkward to show, but you start off in Honolulu, and then you start going to all the. Oh, this is cool here. So you go to all of these airports. I don't know what these islands, or what the names of these islands are, but see, you'd never think to fly to these areas, right? Because you can barely see these on a map. Yeah, that's cool. In the 737-800. That's a pretty cool tour, and I might actually do that. I'm gonna bookmark it, because that's very cool. But yeah, there's so many. You can sort by, all top 100, best rated, most rated, completed, shortest, longest. We go to longest. Oh, mine is actually the longest. Interesting. At 65,000 nautical miles. And then the SimBitWorld official as well. Pretty cool. Oh, FSUI PC7, I see. Just upgrade it after opening. I'll have to take a look. But I'm probably going to wait for 2024 to do anything now. I saw that there's the Rex atmosphere and clouds that they've done. Looks pretty nice, to be honest. But it's not something I'm going to purchase like a month before Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 comes out. So, but we'll see. I just hope. I spent a fair bit of money on payware sceneries from Microsoft Flight Sim, like a bunch of them. And I just hope they're all upgradable to 2024 for free. Because that would be expensive. Having to upgrade everything. Blood oxygen level is 98%. That's good. Nice detail. Getting to our top of descent then, so let's do our descent checklist. There's a recall, nothing came up, that's good.
Check.
Notes checked.
Notes, check. Check.
Auto brake,
Auto
we
brake.
said auto brake 1.
Set.
Landing data is
Landing
done. We
data
need to set our
set.
minimums actually, so let's
Approach
do that.
Completed.
Minimums is, if I bring it across, you can see is 249 is what we're using. No worries, Stan. Thank you very much for being here. So we need to set 249. So let's get this set. And we'll copy that across the first officer side using the hidden click spot up here, and there it is. Perfect. That's all done. Approach briefing complete.
Completed. Checklist. Approach checklist. Please.
We'll reset MCPL so we can start our descent here. Our first altitude is gonna be... we need to be above flight level 170 and at 250 knots. So I'm gonna set to 170. If you guys have enjoyed this slightly longer stream, so we're doing a longer flight today, do let me know. I've enjoyed it. It's given us a lot more time to chat. So, yeah, always looking for feedback. If you want me to do these longer streams, we can do that. If you want me to stick to the shorter streams of around an hour flight time, we can do that as well. Or we have a, you know, a bit of a mix. We need the split stream long hauls. But what do we do on the for a long haul? That's something we can do on days that I'm free, obviously. But what should we, if we do a long haul, what entertainment would you guys like to see? Yeah, so we should start our descent fairly soon. Oh, I see what you mean, split stream long hauls. So you mean where I stream the departure and then stream the arrival separately? That'd be pretty cool, actually. I see what you mean. That's a good idea. I've seen some people do that. London Controller, I think, does it, right? And Kenko does it as well. Yeah, we can do that on weekends for sure, because I'm free on weekends. Some weekends, that is. Yeah, we can do that, actually. Does the 777 have more modern avionics than the 737? Don't think I've seen the 737 with built-in checklist. It is, yeah, 100% more modern. It may not look it at first glance, you know, PFD-ND looks very similar, but definitely more advanced. I mean, if we go here, all of these pages, like the checklist, this electrical page, hydraulic page, fuel, air, flight control, gear, doors. You don't have any of this on the 777, so it is 100% more. Oh no, what have I done? This needs to be the ND. This needs to be the checklist.
Altimeters.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely more modern. And the whole aircraft systems is, you know, a lot more modern. There's a lot more auto, so hydraulics auto, anti-ice auto, packs and temperatures are auto as well. Engine start is so simple. It's called auto start. So you just flick this to start, add the fuel whenever, because it does it automatically. You don't need to wait like you do with the 737. It's very much more automated. If you fly, if you can fly the 737, then this is definitely easier, I would say. But I think the 737 is a good aircraft to start on, because if you move to an Airbus, in some ways an Airbus can be more complex, but it's also, there's less to do during a flight. It is a little bit easier in that regard. I think the 737 is a good aircraft to start with. It's not overly complex, but it's generally going to be easier than modern Boeings and Airbus aircraft. Sorry, more difficult. Yeah, the 777 is very sophisticated. It really is. The Max might have that stuff. It might actually. I'm not familiar with the Max. But yeah, it might. Not. Yeah, the NG definitely doesn't have this stuff. Actually, that's interesting. Does the Max have this stuff? If anyone knows, feel free to let us know in the chat. We do need a good 737 Max for Flight Sim. I know iFly is doing theirs for Microsoft Flight Sim, and PMDG are doing one as well. On the X-Plane side, I don't think we're getting a Max. I don't know of any in development. And by the way, if you do find an X-Plane 737 Max that's freeware, don't download it, don't use it. It's stolen code from Zebo. Pirated software, so there's no legit 737 Max for X-Plane 12 or 11. Airbus with a numbnuts, they dumbed it down. It very much is dumbed down, isn't it? I do love flying Airbus, and the reason I love flying Airbus, there's a few reasons actually. One, I don't need my yoke on my desk. A lot of the time when I fly, I'm also doing uni work, and having a yoke on my desk, it gets in the way. And I can remove it, I know, but it's sort of hassle. So sometimes it's nice just being able to use my, the side stick to fly. But what I love about the Airbus aircraft, and I'm coming at this less from a pilot perspective, but more from an aerospace engineering perspective, is just the fly-by-wire system in an Airbus is so complex, and I find it personally really interesting. It's something that's really amazing to study. I love studying the Airbus systems and the fly-by-wire system and all the different modes, direct law and alternate law, and yeah, very alpha floor, pretty interesting stuff. But I have an appreciation for both Boeing and Airbus, I think. If I was asked, so if you don't know, I got a 5-hour flying scholarship to go towards my PPO in the real world from the Air League, which is a organization in the UK. And one of the questions they asked is, do you prefer Airbus or Boeing? As a very generic, broad question. I don't think the answer would have contributed to too much. I think it was just a general sort of trying to get to know you and open you up a little bit in the interview, because it was a very formal interview. And I sort of said I have an appreciation for both. The Boeings, especially with a yoke, you really feel them, and I think hand flying them are fantastic. Especially the 737. I mean, it's such a fun aircraft to fly and hand fly and land. But the Airbus, is probably more comfortable as a pilot. The systems are incredibly interesting. So, yeah, I've got an appreciation for both, absolutely. Flight Factor's been considering making one. Yeah, they are. They are, absolutely. But Ramsey will need a type rating. Although I assume there are stuff from the 777 type rating which will carry across slightly. But yeah, Ramsey's, that's dedication if I've ever seen it, getting a type rating. He is 777 and 787 type rated, as they fall under the same type rating in Europe, under ESA. I think, is it the same in the US under FAA? Are the 777 and 787 under the same type rating there? TOLUS visuals need a massive... I think the TOLUS visuals are okay. They do need an upgrade, but the real selling point of TOLUS is, like you say, the flight model and the systems. They are just incredible. The EFB I actually quite like, and yeah, it doesn't have a huge amount of functionality, but it does its job. It does its job well, and it's simple to use, which is something I love about the TOLUS aircraft. They are just simple aircraft. They work well. You know, the SimBrief integration is fantastic. You click init request on the MCDU, it does your weights, it does your payload, it does everything for you. Which some people might not like. They want to do stuff manually, but some people do like that. So, like I said, I've got an appreciation for both. I think someone is type rated in the 747 from Flight Factor, I think. Because I think they do want to work on a 747 as well, as far as I know. They don't fall under the same type rating. In the US, interesting. I know for Europe they do, the 777 and the 787. But yeah, interesting they don't in the US. I think even under CAA regulations, which is the aviation authority for the UK, they are also under the same type rating. Yeah, in the US, no, yeah. Got you. Thank you very much, Amine. Alright, so we're looking good. We're on the profile here. And there's them in RAB2, so if we go here by RAB2, we need to be at 250 knots, and we can't be below flight level 170, which is fine. Looking good. Yeah, Shuan, I agree. The A350 is going to be the best of Flight Factor and TOLUS, and that is going to be just incredible. I really, really can't wait for that one. I love the A350 as an aircraft anyway. You know, like I said, I love flying the current Flight Factor version, but a new, up-to-date with TOLUS systems, and you know, this sort of quality that we have on this 777, that is going to be insane. The A350 has a lot of cool features as well, which the current Flight Factor one doesn't have, like brake to vacate. It has a taxi mode, which helps keep it on centerline when taxiing as well, which is really cool. It helps reduce pilot workload a little bit. Interesting seeing how the GUI would work with the A350 V2. They need a coherent design through the systems and 3D modeling. Yeah, I think they're probably gonna, you know, most of the things are gonna be done through the OIS, I would presume, being the A350 sort of EFB. I don't know whether we'd have a ISCS like we do with TOLUS aircraft normally. It really depends how the workload is split between TOLUS and Flight Factor. I think the aircraft is releasing as a Flight Factor aircraft in collaboration with TOLUS. So I think we're going to see more Flight Factor elements in terms of the GUI than we will TOLUS, probably. But yeah, that'd be an interesting one to see. Disappointing we don't have a good 787 for X-Plane. Yeah, absolutely. It is. It really is. I love the 787 as well as an aircraft. Yeah, as you can see, you can pretty much say any aircraft to me and I'm going to love them for whatever reason. Yeah, I miss not having a 787 in X-Plane. And yeah, there's Magnite, but it's not that good in my opinion. I have tried it. I just don't enjoy flying it. The flight model is really, really, really strange. And the sounds are really not very good. They have the avionics bay in the A350, 100% best aircraft. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They're doing the avionics bay for this aircraft as well, the 777 as well, aren't they? The A350 V1 FMGS, for example, would look out of place in FF modeling. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that stuff is going to be more flight factor. I think the towless stuff is going to be all the under the hood stuff, all the systems and all the visuals, all the sounds are going to be flight factor. I'm pretty sure. That would make sense at least. Yeah, I tried the XWorks A330, but it never worked particularly well for me. I've never tried the A340 because I have the towless. But yeah, those just, yeah, never worked for me. The current A330 I'm using in X-Plane is the Aerogenesis, which is quite nice. It's got only minor updates at the moment, but when they release version 1, that should have quite a few improvements over the default. And then of course we have towless anyway coming in with the A330 Neo, the 900. Really interested in seeing how the XWorks A380 will work. Yeah, absolutely. I think their main focus is that. Now we're getting the towless A330 and Aerogenesis are working on an A330. They're probably not going to be working on their A330 too much. Alright, we need to set our next altitude real quick here. Flight level 150. You can see here there's 2 altitudes on this chart, and you can see that we need to be at flight level 150, so not above, not below, at 150 for Missam 1 Charlie, which we're not on. We're on the Venom 1 Charlie, which is this one here, so we just need to be above flight level 150. We can be higher if required, but we need to be at 240 knots as a maximum, which looks like we're slowing down to anyway. Engine start on the XWorks A340 never worked as it should. Yeah, I never tried it, but the A330 never worked for me, so I didn't have high hopes for the A340, but I'm looking forward to the A380 because that seems to be like a, they seem to be putting a lot more effort into that, more high quality, if that makes sense. That should be pretty good. We need a good A380 in X-Plane. We really do. I think that's probably going to be towless next project after the A350, I would presume, because towless aren't going to have anything else left to make after the A330. And they do those variants. They might do a Beluga XL, which will be pretty cool as an add-on to the A330. I would love that. And then the A350, and then hopefully the A380. I forgot to show, are you going to fly the iFly 737 MAX once it releases? Flight had a good reputation and prepared, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah, I'll have to see. It depends on the price, honestly. So I do have the PMD GNG, but I do want a 737 MAX as well. So I'll have to see. I'll have to see about that one. It is something I'm keeping my eye on, though. Right, Navigraph. Bring Navigraph back. Next altitude, I'm just going to set 3,000 here. And start descending towards there. I'm going to get a 10 nautical mile fix in. So, OEJN. Runway 34 right. 10 nautical miles. As I always do. And what is the transition altitude? Flight level 150, so we'll swap to local QNH. Oh, why is it doing that? Local QNH is 1007. So let's do that. 1007, set on the first officer side as well. Fantastic. It looks like we need some drag. So we'll put the speed brake out a little bit. Maybe not that much. They might do A318. That's true. Yeah. I actually wouldn't mind seeing an A318. I think that'd be pretty cool as well. But I think they may go for an A380 before they do that. Totus have an A320. They just don't have an A320 CEO. They only have the Neo. Yeah. We won't see Totus A380 until X-Plane 13. Yeah, probably. I agree. X-Planes tend to release every 6 years. That's been the trend. Whether X-Plane 13 will stick to that trend, I don't know. But it's already been 2 years since X-Plane 12 released, which is crazy to think about, to be honest. Fly-by-Wire is making one for Microsoft Flight Sim. They are, and I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be very good. That's going to be really good. That has all the brake to vacate functions and cameras and all sorts. What the runway turn-off lights used for? Exactly what it says in the name. They are used for, especially at night, really, to help see the runway turn-off. So they're lights that project in this area and this area. I generally turn them on with the landing lights under 10,000, but you don't technically need them on until you put the gear down. Really? Early LR prediction, this one could be a minus 87. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. That's a lot of pressure though, because that's a very smooth landing. Hopefully X-Plane 12 pushes 12 a bit more extra digit might help. Yeah. I think they're going a lot more, they're going all in a lot more than they did with 11. We've already seemingly had more updates. The roadmap looks good. Because X-Plane 11 only went till 11.55, didn't it? And we're on, what, 12.1. So there's still a lot to come, you know, 12.2, 3, 4. Sim pilots need pressure. I agree. Destroy the tires. You can see the airport below us here. And there's Jeddah. The circuit is a street circuit. I think it's over here somewhere. I doubt we'll be able to spot it, but we'll have to see if we can spot the roads that are used to make up the Jeddah street circuit. But let me see if I can find it on Volanta first before I... Oh, I think I've already found it. Hang on. I think it's this, right? Next to the airport. So this looks like it's part of the circuit, potentially. Where's the... Oh, maybe not. No, this is the part of the straight, for sure. Using auto-auto or map enhancement. This is auto-auto. So that's that straight. Then you get the... I'm trying to find the straight. The pitch straight. But can't find it. I think it is around here though. I'm fairly sure. Well, we're descending nicely. We can probably cut this route short a little bit. Let me just have a look at the charts here. So, Paxos, we need to be at 2100, which we can make. So, let's cut that short. Let's do this. After the next waypoint, we'll go direct to Paxos. Cut all that out, and we can go down to 2100. That works nicely, I think. And we should probably start slowing it down to 20. Get the drag out. Shortcut time. It is shortcut time. It looks like we're going to need a bit of flaps there. So we'll go flaps 1. Gonna reposition my mic. But we're descending nicely. Lovely orthos. Beautiful. Altimeters are done for the approach checklist.
Landing gear down.
And I'm going to slow it down to 180 as we intercept the ILS. Go flaps 5 in a second here. Runway is off to our right. Should be a nice intercept. We're on 3-4 right. I think is that the side of the cargo terminal? Let me have a look. I can work out where to taxi. There's flaps 5. So cargo. Yeah, I think we can take that. Right, we'll sort out our taxi when we land. Let's go approach mode. Intercept the localizer here. There's a runway. When I put the speed brake away, I'll arm it, in fact. I'm going to go 160 on the speed and flaps 15. VREF was a 126, so pretty low today. And we're 7 miles out. Alright, looking good. There's Jeddah City. Not sure what this is. Maybe a big warehouse? Big building in the background there. Again, I don't know what that building is. I'm sure it has a name. A famous name. Seeing as it's that tall. And alright, let's go gear down.
Flaps set.
Flaps are definitely not set. So 126. Flaps 20, 25. Alright, so let's get ready for this landing then. I'm gonna reset my view. And alright, flaps 30.
Set. Checklist complete.
And let's disconnect the autopilot. The mic is getting in the way of my face. So my OBBI tracker was bugging out a little bit. I'll turn it off for now. I've got to sit a little bit further back when I'm using my yoke. So the mic ends up being in a bit of an awkward position.
1,000.
Let's see here. Hopefully it's going to be a good landing. Ground speed is 124 knots, so pretty slow. And see that apron to the right of the runway there? Over here? We're probably going to go and just taxi over there. The airport isn't particularly detailed. It is a freeway one.
Approaching 3.
It's better than the default. The default doesn't even have jetways. It's just literally a building. But nicely on the glide path and on the localizer. 2 red, 2 white, looking good. Try and stay center. We've got changing winds. We're getting a very, very, very slight crosswind from the right every now and then.
Approaching minimums.
Nice on the glide path. Don't get high.
200.
Those minimums. We'll continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, a little bit. Not too bad actually. A little bit harder than what I wanted, but that's fine. Nice and center line at least. Not as smooth as was predicted, but I'll take that. 80 knots will show the reverses. Manual braking. Yeah, we were a little bit slower there for that landing. I think because it's quite hot, probably. That was probably a factor. Which is why we came down a little bit harder than what I'm used to. Normally you barely have to flare the 777. Or not too much at least. But that's what I love about it. It's not the same feeling every time. You know, X-Plane is very dynamic in that sense. Which is a good thing. You know, no two landings should feel the same. Gonna go over here. I don't know what this ramp is in real life, but we're using it today in the sim. Transponder off. And yeah, one of these stands will do. Blade element theory, yeah. No, we want to keep the beacon on. But runway turn off and the taxi light can go off. Stow the speed brake and the flaps. Notice how it only goes to flaps 1. That's because in real life there's a gate, it doesn't let you go further. You have to... There we are. Once I move the lever again, it does it. That's a military ramp? Oh no. I know what to do. Where is it? Is it okay if we do this? Are they going to let us onto the military ramp? Oh, if that's a military ramp. Oh well. We're allowed to use it now. We're allowed to go anywhere. No worries, Dave.
Clear left, clear right.
That is a small parking position for a... You know what, we'll go to that one. We'll go to the next one. We'll cut across. That one, not this one. Yeah, but now the tower sees 7700 and will foam your engines. Would they still foam my engine if we do this? Upon failure? Where's the... Are they all facing that way? Oh, that's why we... Oh, this is not good. We're gonna have to make
Clear left,
a
clear
U-turn
right.
on this ramp. They're all facing the other way. At least there's a lot of space and no aircraft parked here. This is actually pilot training. You know, like when when you do your driving license test and you go to an empty car park to practice your parking. This is what we're doing now, just with a 777. Completely intentional. Right, so we don't have a marshaller. So we're gonna have to figure out where to stop, and I would say about there. Not too bad. We'll take that. We'll line it up a little bit better though. Now you have a horde of maintenance personnel approaching like zombies. Not until I turn the beacon on. Beacon off. Speaking of which, did we get the APU on? We did not. Let's do that. In the meantime, let me bring up this. So, it has automatically finished, and the the way it knows that we finished the flight is once you've landed at your desired airport and your ground speed is 0 knots. So it'll auto-complete. You can turn the auto feature off, so you do it manually, but I've got it set on. So when you land and you stop, it will save. So we can go to logbook and we can see we've done the first leg of our Formula 1 World Tour. You can see the date, the time, the aircraft used, the call sign, all that good stuff. If we go to current leg, the next leg is Jeddah to Melbourne, which is a huge, a very long flight. That'll probably have to be in the... Actually, it'll probably be the 777. I guess the 787 can do it, but I have a nice, the Orbex Melbourne scenery, so I'll probably do it in X-Plane. That'll be a video, unless we do a split live stream like Skylar said. Split stream, yeah, we may do that. Maybe this weekend. I'm free this weekend, so we could do that. That's pretty perfect for a split stream. So, yeah, Skylar, thank you for that suggestion. That's a really good idea. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. But yeah, as you can see, that's pretty much what it is. You know, definitely more simple than a pilot's life, but yeah, really nice. If we go to your tour, you can see now how many legs I've done. You can pause it, restart it. You can do a tour as many times as you want. There's no, you know, restriction on that. There's all the details. So we've done this one. This is our next tour here. Yeah, pretty cool. And then once you complete it, you can rate the tour as well. So if you do want to do this tour, do go ahead and try it out. And when you complete it, do give it a rate. I'll really appreciate that. Hello everyone. Hey SN Captain, welcome. It's possible to make a video showing how to set up X camera and how to switch view, please. So I don't use X camera, but I will do a video on it, and I may switch to X camera as well. So yeah, that'll absolutely, I'll add that to the list as a video for sure. And I'll do a video on the default camera system as well, most likely. Now we have the APU going. Let's shut off the engines and set the parking brake. I'll end the flight on Volanta here real quick. Volanta had a landing rate of -280 is what it had. But yeah, that is the end of this flight in the 777. Again, if you do want to check out a grand tour, there is a link in the description, and I'll probably have a video releasing tomorrow, if anything, or the day after, on a grand tour. Again, a big thank you to Ovidiu from SimBitWorld for providing the channel with a copy of the software. Very much appreciated. And yeah, highly recommend it. It's a really great software. It'll be getting plenty of updates as well, so you're almost like you're investing in the future of the app as well a little bit. So I hope you've enjoyed this flight. I enjoyed it, the longer flight actually. It was really nice chatting to you all for a slightly longer period than normal. It was really nice. We should be back tomorrow. I do have a lot of coursework to do. So I'll see how I get on tomorrow, see if I can do a stream. If not, it'll be Thursday or Friday. We'll stream again. And then, of course, I'll try and get a split stream scheduled for that, for the Jeddah flight to Melbourne. That's a good idea. And yeah, you know, maybe we'll use the Dunkin', livery for that, Skylar. Thank you for providing that. Steve, no worries. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the stream. Thank you all very much for watching. I forgot one thing. Temperatures, max temp 84 degrees. Cooler, pretty good cooler. But yeah, anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.